Hello, my name is Amaka. I'm sure you already know this, and I'm just going to continue on the message from the last video on intentional dating and establishing intentional romantic relationships. And today I just wanted to go a bit more into the dating aspect of it. So maybe you found somebody now that you like, somebody you get on with well, you're spending time together, you're enjoying the time that you're spending together, and you start to think about what kind of activities should you do to maximize the time that you're spending together. There's this big temptation nowadays, just because we have everything in our homes and you can Netflix and chill, to just invite people over and spend quality time together. But we know that in the practical part of it, you actually don't spend that quality time together. There's a lot of distraction. You can watch Netflix all day long and not really have a chance to talk. You can get distracted with just the physical proximity that brings and the coziness of being in somebody's room or in somebody's house. And sometimes it doesn't just go the way you thought it would go. Yeah, and you may even discover that you actually don't like being in that person's space, which is something that can really obscure your view of who is behind the mess that you find in that space. Yeah, so maybe it may not be the best thing to do when you're starting to get to know somebody. So I'm just going to talk through some things that you can do. I'm a big fan of doing activities in the daytime. And that's why we started the first video by saying, find out what you like to do in 24 hours and, have a chat around that with this person that you've met. So if you walk through that list, see things that you can do in the daytime, go out for breakfast together. If you guys live close to each other, maybe commute to work together, yeah, so that you can chat on the bus, on the train, you can chat in the taxi, you can, on the drive down, depending on what you choose to do, on how you commute. Have lunch together if you work close to each other, if that's something that's possible. If you have a weekend where you want to see each other, have breakfast together. It's such a wholesome thing to do, to wake up in the morning, wear your hoodie, wear your leggings, some trainers, and go for a run. And go for a run with somebody you're getting to know, or go for a walk with somebody you're getting to know. Or if you have pets, take your pets for a walk together, and then have breakfast together. It gives you that opportunity to just sit down and have a chat without the pressure of having to dress up. And it's a more relaxing way to get to know each other. There's no pressure, there's no big bill that's coming at the end of it. If you have a cup of coffee and a toast or something, it's such a good thing. Things like going for a walk, things like going to museums, things like going for a movie during the daytime, and then maybe a meal after or a walk after. Vary your activities and fill it up with activities that you like. I in particular used to like going for book readings. So publishing houses usually have like these free book readings that they do from time to time if you live in a city, and you can look out for events like that. Or if you have authors that you like that have written something and they're coming to talk about their books in a bookstore near you or whatever, take somebody you're getting to know to that kind of thing if that's your thing, because you want to be able to see them in your space and also experience their space. So you also make time to attend things that they like that you've probably not been exposed to in the past. So spending quality time is really a nice way to get to know somebody, and your quality time shouldn't always be activities where you're both fully engaged in that activity and not actually experiencing each other. There should be space where you can experience each other. They should be exploratory. They should stimulate conversations and help you bond together and see how both of you react to different situations that life will throw at you. So as much as possible, the mundane is not bad. Do mundane things together. Go out, have ice cream. Who says you have to have a 3-course meal every time you go out? Don't put that pressure on a new relationship. Just do what comes naturally to you to do. If on a Saturday you play football, invite this lady or this potential partner, to your football game to watch you, and then afterwards let her meet the team or let him meet the team, and just have a normal, relaxing, everyday interaction. I think that is what is most useful in the early stages of a relationship, and it just takes away that pressure of both of you having to perform for each other. Yeah, and you can be your authentic self, which is who you really want to be in a relationship. It also helps you to build trust, and helps you to kind of ask questions of each other without it being like an interview style kind of interrogation. What are your plans in 5 years' time? What do you hope to achieve? You can find that out at a football game by just having a casual chat and just saying, okay, this is what you do on a Saturday. Oh, that's lovely. I do this on a Saturday, and hopefully in the next few years, I'm hoping that I can make this team, or I can do that. Those they'll happen naturally. And if they don't happen naturally, then you can ask in more relaxed ways when you've gotten to trust each other more, So yeah, building trust, spending quality time together, bonding, and exploring each other's lives, so to speak, is a really good way to get to know someone. And as much as possible, when you're engaging with other people's lives or families, make it as brief and as relaxing as possible, because you don't want a situation where in some cultures where they start to call you the person's girlfriend or the person's wife or the person's boyfriend or the person's husband when you're not ready for that kind of commitment yet. It's an early relationship, so invest in spending time together first before you start to meet family or meet close friends or best friends and all that kind of stuff. And you also don't want your view of who this person is to be colored by what other people think. You don't want to look at them through the lens of other people. Get to know them and then introduce them into your space, and then see what people in your space think. And that's why I would encourage a slow progress in relationships. Don't give yourself that whole, by week 1 I have to do this, week 2 I have to do that. Let it be slow, let it be gentle, let it be natural. If you're the kind of person that forms deep, hot relationships really, really quickly, try a different way, because obviously your deep, hot relationships really, really quickly is not working, and maybe that's why you're listening to this video. Try a different way of doing things. Yeah, some people are more spontaneous. If you're somebody that has always drawn things out, and you've been the kind of person that's been afraid of commitment and not really wanting to open up to get people to know you, try a different way. Be a bit more vulnerable, have conversations, draw people into your space. It is scary. Everything new that you do will be scary, and the more time that you delay doing that scary thing, the bigger the scary thing gets. Take that from me. So try it, try something new. We all have that fear of what if, but I would rather try that something new early and know that it's not working than draw out a relationship to like 1 year of just avoiding each other, calling each other whenever we feel like, and not really being vulnerable and having expectations that are not communicated. And 1 year later down the line, you find out that, oh my god, I've wasted 1 year with this person. It's better done early than late. Okay, so try something new, do what comes naturally to you. Okay, and I was also thinking that we all have expectations of people that we want to date. In some cultures, it's expected that the guy pays the bills. In some cultures, it's expected that you split the bill. In some cultures, it is expected that whoever initiates that meeting will pay the bill. Have those conversations early. Let your expectations be known. If you're dating somebody, you've gone on a few dates, let them know what you expect on the date. It doesn't have to be a very rude thing. Communicate your expectations in a healthy way, in a positive way, and in a curious way too. See what the other person thinks about it. I'm sure that you're an adult, and that's why you're considering, seriously dating or finding a partner. And you don't get to be an adult without having some life experience. You know that there are some ways that are not acceptable to speak to other people. So train yourself to find ways to communicate your expectations. Practice different ways. Watch a few videos. Look at how other people do it. Practice it in front of your mirror. It is not everything that you'll be taught by your parents or by your upbringing or the people that you've been exposed to up till now. A lot of the responsibility of adulthood is that you have to teach yourself things and learn from other places. So learn how to communicate effectively. Learn how to communicate to your partner in a respectful, healthy fashion. learn how to resolve conflict and have difficult conversations. If somebody is teaching you, if somebody is talking to you in a way that you don't like, learn how to say, I don't find that acceptable. I know that you're saying this from love, but I don't like the way you're speaking to me right now. Can we end this conversation and start again, some other time when you're a bit calmer? Learn ways to communicate. I didn't know this when I was growing up. I had to learn, and I learned the hard way. And thankfully, I met somebody who was also willing to learn, and we both learned together and unlearned the things that were negative and unhealthy patterns of forming relationships, and we're still learning. So it is an interesting journey when you also meet somebody who is open to learning new things and learning new ways of being together with somebody. So be open-minded. You're meeting somebody who you've never known before, who has lived a life before they met you, who has ways that have been instilled in them from their background that you have no idea of, and you will still keep finding out things about them until whenever the relationship ends, or maybe until you die if you decide to be together for that long. So be graceful about it. You have expectations, they have expectations. Those expectations can be discussed as adults. It doesn't have to end in a fight. If somebody's expectations are too high for you or are not acceptable to you, let them know. The worst that can happen is that the relationship will end, or it's better it ends early than it ends later down the line, isn't it? Lots of other people involved in it. So if somebody is expecting you maybe to come to their house on Saturday and wash their clothes and do their laundry and cook for them, and that is not what you're able to offer that person, then that's not the relationship for you. And you're like, okay, then that's what you expect. I'm not happy to do that for you. I hope you find somebody that can do that for you. Thank you for letting me know, but I won't be talking to you in this capacity anymore. We can be friends if you think that there's a friendship potential. Every dating relationship doesn't always have to end in friendship. Like, decide who you want to be your friend and who that's really up to you. Yeah. So there's also the issue about calling. How often should people call? Look, if somebody is interested in you, they want to know how you are. That's like the basic rule. They want to know how you are. They want to know what you're doing. They want to know what kind of things that you're engaging in and how you're feeling about your day. If somebody is not checking on you day 1, day 2, day 3, they're not interested in you. Just let it be. Yeah, let it be. Don't chase it. Don't force it. Don't just leave it alone. If somebody is the kind of person that calls you every hour for 2 days and then you don't hear from them for 2 weeks, babe, guy, free that person. That person is not committed to getting to know you, or is not interested in getting to know you, and you really don't want those kind of people. They mess with your mind, they mess with your emotions, they leave you in such a horrible place. It's a very negative cycle, and it often fits into our insecurities and low self-worth, which is where we're trying to get ourselves out of, isn't it? We're trying to get into a healthier pattern of doing things. You don't want people that perpetuate the things that make you feel insecure. Leave them alone. Don't tolerate them. Let them know that I will not be picking your calls anymore. You're inconsistent, and that's not the kind of partner I'm looking for. Be very clear. Set the boundaries. Nothing is going to happen. Only good things can happen when you have healthy boundaries. Only good things can happen when you have healthy boundaries. It keeps away the bad people. It keeps in the good people. Yeah? Having high standards is not a bad thing. Don't let anybody tell you that your standards are too high. That's why you're still single at 38. There's nothing wrong with being single at 38. If you're happy being single at 38, that's beautiful. That's something that is amazing and should be emulated. If you're confident and happy, a lot of people that are in partnerships don't even have that. So don't feel like, if you let this person go, where are you going to find somebody else? There are 8 billion people in this world. There are 8 billion people in this world, and there's so many different people. There has to be somebody out there that will love the best version of yourself, because I'm assuming as well that you're working on yourself. You're developing yourself. you're making yourself to the kind of person that will be desirable for the kind of partner that you're looking for. Because we can't ask the universe, or we can't ask the world to give us the best things when we are not ready to offer the best things. So you're working on yourself. There has to be somebody out there who would see that, appreciate that, and give you the love that you deserve. Yeah. Finding out, that somebody that you're dating has different ideas of what things should be from you. It's not always a bad thing. It's up to you to decide what you can tolerate and what you cannot tolerate. Personal example, I married somebody who was really spontaneous and who didn't have a lot of organizational or planning skills. That wasn't always a bad thing. When I first met him, it used to drive me crazy. Gosh, I'm like, who goes somewhere without printing out a map and knowing where you're going and what time you're going to go there and all that? But, over time, I've realized that being with him has helped me to be more relaxed and, to kind of go with the flow for some things. Being organized and planning is not a bad thing, but you cannot organize and plan every single thing and be rigid about life, because there will be changes. And when those changes come, if you're not flexible in your mindset, then you become really frazzled. You become, very, you become not a nice person to be around. And that was who I was. If things went out of plan, I become really frustrated, really angry, really prickly, so that anybody that is around me actually feels that negative emotion. But learning a different way of doing things by interacting with the way my partner does things has allowed me to become more flexible. So there's a compromise, There are some things I would not leave to him to do, and there are some things I'll leave to him to do because, it's not so important to me, So yeah, be open to seeing other ways of doing things. Don't be too rigid about, what you would accept and what you would not accept. That's why you need to know what your values are. If something is contrary to your personal core values, then please tell that person to move forward and find another partner. Don't compromise your personal or your core values. There's some things that are debatable. There's some things that that, I don't mind this. So don't now make a fuss about it and, make somebody leave who actually has good qualities that you can benefit from. Relationship has progressed. You guys are spending a lot of time together. The person is your boyfriend, they're your girlfriend, they're your partner, they're whatever name you want to call them. There are lots of things that you now need to start to talk about, the more serious things. You've gotten over the fun part of it. You know what you like, you know how to communicate, you have healthy boundaries. So let's talk about the serious stuff, the big boy and the big girl stuff. Let's talk about money. Let's start looking at people's money habits. Let's talk about debts. How much are they in debt? How often do they use their credit cards? How do they pay it off? What kind of income are they making? How do they budget? Do they have any budgeting skills? Do they plan for their money? Do they plan to increase their income? What's their career development plans? And these conversations happen in everyday life. Like, you could literally be in a drive-through, ordering KFC, and then just have a conversation about, so if you pay the KFC with the credit card, how long does it take you to pay that off? Or what's your credit card debt like? Do you use that for shopping? Do you use it every day? Do you have direct debits on it? Do you have, do you actually transfer money to it every, casual conversations. Find out how your partner or potential partner, feels about money. What's their money habits? What do they think about money? Do they feel like money is scarce? Do they feel like money is available? Do they have an abundance mindset? Do they have a scarcity mindset? Do they feel like money doesn't grow on trees? Parents used to say that. Do they still feel that way? Do they feel like they can manifest money? Do they feel like money comes to them? Do they feel like money is something that's accessible to them? Or do they feel like, oh my God, these rich people, they just live in an alternate universe kind of mindset? You need to find out those kind of things. It will affect your life. Trust me. It will affect your life. So have those conversations early, especially when you start to date somebody for a while. Start to see where they are and commit to growing together and learning new ways of doing things and new ways and healthier ways of thinking about things like money. Now, talk as well about, sex. Is sex something you want to do or you want to engage in soon in this relationship, or is it something you want to wait until later? Or if you have religious beliefs, are you quite strongly loyal to your religious beliefs, or are you somebody that is not very religious but you grew up religious? Talk about those kind of things to your partner. You want to wait until marriage? You want to wait until maybe you're engaged? You want to wait until 3 months, 4 months, 6 months? Have those conversations early, because you find that some people have expectations that while they are dating, that their sexual needs should be met. Some people have expectations that while they are dating, sexual needs are not things that should be met until you're married. It will be a big shock to you if you start to get intimate and your partner tells you something that you're not expecting, you've not had a conversation about. So I will encourage you to have those conversations quite early and have a discussion about it. And that's why I call them conversations. See where they are, see why they think what they think, see if they're willing to compromise or if they're willing to meet you in the middle. In some cases, you'll be surprised that you've met probably somebody who actually thinks what you think. And that's always such a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful union or partnership if you're both on the same page. And that's also why I say, where you meet people matters. If you meet somebody who already has similar ideas as you, for instance, you met somebody in church, you met somebody in a club, you met somebody, you already know what kind of things to expect from the person. So being equally matched in your sexual needs or your sexual rules for life is helpful. But in whatever you're doing, please communicate your boundaries. Make sure that you're safe. Make sure that you're not putting yourself at risk. It is so important, because some of the risk that we take, especially now where we're quite openly sexual in our interactions, may not be worth it down the line, because you have sex with somebody who is not very careful with their sexual exploits. They're not keeping themselves safe, they're not loyal to you. It means that they are endangering you. It means that your life is at risk. It means that you're at risk of infections, you're at risk of pregnancies that you did not plan for, and the potential, the negative potential for that is just endless. You could literally die. Sex is something that leaves you really vulnerable and leaves your future really vulnerable, that I think that it deserves a conversation. Don't let somebody tell you, let's see how it goes when it comes to sex. Have that conversation. And if somebody is not willing to talk to you about sex in an open, honest way, please do not engage with that person. That person is very dangerous, very, very dangerous. Do not engage with that person. And this is me being very honest and telling you how it is. It's not worth it. Talk about also your family life. Do you want to start a family? Do you want to have children? Do you think that's something that will change down the line if you already, have a yes or a no? Do you think that's something that will change? Because, there are a lot of celebrity divorces that, have happened maybe in the last 10 to 20 years, where people start off saying, oh, I don't want to have children. It's just me and you. We love each other so much. Oh my God, you're the beginning and the end of my life. And then 10 years into the relationship, 15 years into the relationship, somebody is starting to feel broody. You want to be a dad. You want to be a mom. And this partner that you married based on the fact that both of you don't want children, it's not ready for that, and it almost feels like a breach of contract and a betrayal. So if you have those conversations early in life, you have an idea who wants children, who doesn't want children. Also, you need to nowadays ask if this person is open to having children from other people. Do they have children already from other people before they met you? Have these conversations, because some people will say that if you don't ask, they don't tell. In fact, you shouldn't be with those kind of people. That's my own rule. But ask. Yeah? Ask. Is there anybody else dating you? Is there anybody else married to you? Is there anybody else that thinks that you're their husband or their wife? You need to ask these questions. I'm laughing as I'm saying it, but it has happened where somebody says, well, I'm just slightly married, we don't see each other very often. But you're married, and then you're getting into this really serious relationship with somebody who is intending to marry you, and you never mentioned it. So just be mindful. More on like starting a family, you also need to find out, what their own core family values are, like the families where they come from. Some families have things that they believe in, things like, oh, we always spend holiday with grandma, or we always spend Christmas with grandpa, or we always go to the village during Easter. We do religious holidays, we don't do non-religious holidays, those kind of things will come out as you get to know each other. And I'm hoping that your relationship has progressed to a place where you can have those conversations without them being very interrogatory in nature. So yes, do ask about family. And is your family close? Are you guys open? Do you come in and out of each other's houses? Do you check each other's text messages? Do you discuss your relationships? Do you discuss the intimate things that you and I discuss? Do you go to your family and tell them? Because some families are like that, and it's not a bad thing, but you need to know as well how much risk that you're taking when you're talking to your partner. Things like work-life balance. I know, hustle culture is part of our current culture now. Everybody's an entrepreneur, everybody's a founder, everybody's a CEO. But where does your life come into that? Is this person always with you and on their phone, on phone calls, talking to people, doing business while they're supposed to be spending quality time with you? It's something that needs to be discussed. How do you balance that out? How does that relationship fit into your life? Is there any protected time in that relationship for you? It's something that you should discuss, especially when you've been together for a while and you now kind of have the labels of both of you being partners. What does your partner or potential partner think about things like household chores? Are you willing to split chores? Are you willing to do some things? Are there some things that they don't like doing and maybe you don't mind doing them? Because you're not spending time together, you're probably spending time in each other's homes quite a bit, and you're having more and more expectations of each other. Oh, you should have done this, you should have said it, you should have sorted dinner, you should have done, so you need to have those conversations about, okay, if I do the laundry, are you happy to fold them? If I vacuum, are you happy to empty the dustbin? If I do the dishes, are you happy to cook? Those kind of conversations should feature quite early on in your relationship. And there's a really nice book called Fair Play that it's really nice for couples to read. I'll put a link for it in the description box, and there will be a link as well on my blog. And they also have a deck of playing cards that you can use to start conversations around what's fair in a household and who does what. It's such an amazing work that has been put out in the world for us to enjoy. So please do get the book, get the cards. And if you have any questions about the things that I've talked about today, please let me know. You know where to find me. I'm on Instagram, Mind of Marcus. I do videos in the most mornings and basically just share my thoughts, because the idea of having this channel really is to share the things that I have learned and the things that I'm learning, and just to share my progress as I go along, because I know that life is just so complex that sometimes we take for granted our experiences, and I would really, really love it if you share your experiences with me, with relationships, with the things that you found are important for other people to learn that nobody maybe told you, or somebody told you and you ignored it and then you learned the hard way. Let's share our lessons. I believe really, really strongly that we should share our lessons, and that's why I started Mind of Marcus. So you find me Mind of Marcus on Facebook, Mind of Marcus on Instagram, Mind of Marcus on YouTube, Mind of Marcus everywhere. Send me a message and let me know what you think. Add some more value to this if you're able to. Have a lovely day. Do take care of yourself. You're wonderful, you're divine, you're magnificent, you're beautiful, and you're made to do great things in this world. Believe that. Say that to yourself. Don't let anybody tell you differently. Thank you for watching. Bye.